Galore, good enough. Welcome back. So it's time now to fit another part, and I'm looking at this air cleaner here. So in the words of Marvin Gaye or one of them soul singers, the 60s and 70s, let's get it on. So we need a few extensions. So it's the time to do this now because the bolt holes for it are, it's 4 of them there. Bit overkill really, they could have went for just bigger bolts and done 2, but look, that's what's on it. There's one missing there, so we might fit that actually as well, just to have it looking right. So we'll get it going. It can be a little bit awkward when all the other parts are on here in the diesel tank, to get the bolts through. So I think, am I missing, wait a second, we see, I'm missing that pipe there, so I'll have a look for that and we'll come back. So she Curbosh die reached. It's raining again. It's a lovely day, and then suddenly the heavens opened. Well, we've no power over that. You'll narter be here. So I usually just let it sit there in the rubber pipe there, and that'll hold that side, and I get a bolt in the other side here. A little bit fiddly sometimes because the nuts are captive, so they're in the back there. Causes a little bit of playing around, and they're fine threads, so you need long fingers, or you need a shallow socket so that you can put pressure on the socket to push the bolt in. And of course the back of the dash leaves it more than a little bit tight, but once you get one in like that, each side, you're away. So I was talking to a person. You'd be surprised the people that actually, when you throw a few videos up on YouTube, you'd be surprised about the people that actually see it when they're searching, or if they search for something similar, like we'll say the very popular Massey Ferguson 35 or something like that. You know, it brings up the channel, like, because I did work on a 35X there earlier in the year, and they might come across these videos on the Ferguson 20, very popular tractor as well. But the person in question was Irish, and they said, what language do you speak every now and again in the videos? They said, you know, I'm following you and I can understand, and the next minute it sounds like you're speaking a different language. And they'd be right. So every now and again I'd throw in a few words of the Irish language. And I suppose because YouTube is shown all over the world, and I'm sure there's people from countries watching this. I have some French viewers definitely, because I have some comments in French, and I'm sure they're watching the videos with the subtitles on, and you can hit that option. I think it's CC. I think is it the option at the bottom of the screen, and you can see what I'm saying. It translates it roughly, not very accurately, into whatever language they want. So French, German, English. Even you can watch these videos with English subtitles, and it'll probably translate them fairly accurately. But when I speak Irish, na Ravim sé Lart na Gaeilge, it's probably trying to guess what that is in English, and it probably isn't prompting, it probably isn't putting up the right translation at all. So maybe I should explain that a little bit more. This area of Ireland in South Connemara, in the county of Galway, is an Irish speaking area, this particular area anyway. Not all of the area is. Well, actually a lot of South Connemara would be, yeah, but not all of Connemara itself. And so it's kind of natural enough around here. It's well, more than natural to speak the language. You can do your business mostly through Irish, or if you choose, you can probably do nearly all of it in Irish in the area. So I speak it every now and again, but don't feel that you're missing out if you don't understand the language, because anything I say in Irish I usually repeat in English. So just something I do maybe there's some Irish listeners from viewers from, you know, Ireland that can understand a little bit of it and maybe enjoy it. But for me, it's who I am, and it's part of my job and part of the reason why I live here. I'm not from here. So it was actually the Welsh people, the people of Wales, that gave us the name a Gael, G-A-E-L. In Welsh, it's spelled differently in Welsh. I think it's griddle, but it means a wild person, a forest person, or a warrior. And I suppose the Irish went over to Wales years and years ago on boats or whatever, probably boats, got off the boats and went running, shouting and roaring and all of that, and the Welsh people shouted Gael or whatever and warned their fellow country people that these crazy people were coming, and that gave us the name, and it gave us the name of our language, which is Gaeilge. So that's just a little bit of history on, nothing to do with vintage tractors, but just a little bit of history on the Irish. So, and it explains, I suppose, as well, it attempts to explain why I speak a little bit of the language. So, if you enjoy hearing the language, if you understand it, if you're Irish, if you have a few words, or as they say in Irish, a cúpla focal, let me know in the comments. Or if it's annoying you, also let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see what you think. Irish is taught at school, but it's a very boring subject, I think. So I'm sorry if there's any Irish teachers listening or watching, whatever. I find in school it's boring anyway, for the most part, but it's a beautiful, beautiful language. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you enjoy hearing the odd word of Irish. As I said, anything I say in Irish, I say in English as well, so you're not missing any information or anything like that. So there is the intake pipe. I don't think there's anything stopping me now from fitting that, as in it's not going to get in the way. One bolt did go agettled, went flying off there somewhere, so we'll have to get our torch and just have a look for that, see where it went. I don't think it fell. I can get another one if I have to, but it just fell out of my hand, and I don't remember hearing it hitting the ground, so we'll have a look for that. I think it fell, did it? Yeah, so I'll have a quick look for that and I'll come back. So yeah, you get to a point in a project like this, and you feel like you're getting to the top of the hill, and it should be easy enough to go down the other side of it, and we're getting there now. I think, I know it's not running again at the moment, the diesel pump and injectors are off, getting overhauled, but I'm confident that we'll get it sorted. We'll get it all sorted. And it's enjoyable. That's important as well. Now, this is a little awkward one on top, because you put in your socket and it goes in crooked, so you have to get your fingers in, your hands in around there, and it leaves very, very little space to get it started. Okay, I think that's it there. And being fine tried as well, it's not, doesn't help. But yeah, that looks like it's going in. Yeah, I want to also have a look at that fuel tank. I didn't get a chance to look at where it's leaking, so we'll try and mark up where that's leaking. Okay, so that's that all on. So that's it just there. You can see it there. 1, 2 each side. Lovely. So we can get our screwdriver and we can give the hose pipes a tighten. It probably was a little bit early in putting this on because I didn't tighten these. So I'll get the screwdriver, we'll tighten them up, we'll put on our air intake mushroom pipe, and I think we are now then complete on this side of the engine. Yeah, so this was a lovely original pipe that I found in my parts bin, because the one that was on here was just a little bit too far gone. So we can stick to 7 mils. Socket on this either. It's usually what I do. Just I might do with that one because I just saves the slot. Slots get wide. You just get a better grip on it. Just like using the open end of a spanner. If you can use the ring end, you're always better off. So, you know, it's not vital that this is 100%. You know, if you have a bit of a crack in your pipe or it's perished, but it's not going to make a massive difference. But it's just the engine is pneumatically governed from this Venturi here, and it's tuned and designed to work with the air filter working connected and the intake pipe and all of the little resistance that creates. So, you know, that's what you want. You don't want dirt going into the engine, dust and all of that. Not that this is probably ever going to be, you know, Ireland is not a very dusty country or anything like that. There's no deserts in or anything like that, but still, you know, like it all helps. And we're just putting it back the way it should be. So we put on this little bracket there in an earlier video because it was sticking out a little bit without it. And I didn't work on this manifold to get all these working, and I replaced the nuts with better nuts and all of that. So I do that in my spare time. So it pays off when you get a tractor in and it needs some of them parts. So I've plenty more parts there have built up now in the last few weeks, so I'll be going through them and other videos as well. Starter motors, that kind of stuff. I just think, you know, be it the diesel engine, the petrol engine, whatever, they just look right when everything is hitched up, attached, and all the brackets are in place. Everything is where it's meant to be. So that's lovely. Okay. So this is a screwdriver only on that Jubilee slip. I remember replacing this because I remember this Jubilee was on a different tractor of mine years ago. Okay. I think I replaced this whole pipe. It's a little bit perished, but it'll be perfect. The metal bit goes right up to here, so it's above that. Okay, so that needs to be tightened, and we need to tighten this, but so we'll do that. Our starter now should be well and truly held in place, considering we did work on the other two bolts. It's now held by 3 strong bolts, so not a bad thing. 9/16 for the manifold now. And we should be complete on this side, just literally a silencer. I do think this engine will benefit from a new silencer because that one is fairly badly cracked at the bottom. But we'll leave that up to the owner. That's a very easy thing to sort out. And cheap. Because we hopefully have this running very well, and not nice hearing the silencer leaking. It's running well. I'm going to try the other side for a nippy in as well. Lovely. Okay. Lovely. So shin A. That's it for this side, I think. So our throttle is all hitched up. Our air filter's hitched up. Starter's hitched up. Alternator's hitched up. That's all really there is on that side. Just a silencer missing. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we might take a look at this tank. We'll wipe it dry, angle it up so that it wants to leak. It's leaking somewhere in under here, I think. And try and clean up the area. Angle it back to get it dry. Blow it dry with the air gun. Put a bit of JB weld on it. I think it was too long fitted without rubber pads, so I have these kind of radiator pads that I fit, and that will stop it rubbing anymore, and vibrations and all of that on the thermostat housing wore through. So we'll clean it off, dry it off, and we'll angle it and have a look. So it's at a bit of an angle towards me here. It's a torch here. Let's have a look and see. We'll have to clean it. Clean her off and keep an eye on it then every now and again to see where it's actually coming from. It doesn't seem to be coming from here, but I'll have to dry that off as well and keep an eye on it. Might mean getting the wire brush and the drill and cleaning back the paint. Yeah. So I'll give you a look at what I see under here. Oh yeah. Get the camera focused there first roughly. So where I think is leaking is somewhere around there. Especially there, you can see that bit of kind of copper colour. That's what I think is the culprit. You can also see there, that hump there, that's the stud holding on the rocker cover. It's rubbing that. So I've had a look at the rocker cover and you can see someone has actually cut one of them, cut it down. And this one there, that was cut as well, you can see. So this one, it shouldn't be a problem now because I'm going to have them big radiator rubber pads on it, but I'll keep an eye when I have it fitted. I don't want to go cutting things unnecessarily. So I would imagine it should show up here fairly soon, now that I've cleaned, where that diesel's coming from. And again, there you go. You can see it there above my finger. So plenty of it there. So we've got to figure out where that's coming from. So now we've narrowed it down. Narrowed it down. To around there. We'll be able to keep an eye. Like, is it coming from there? And running down. Bit of rust, kind of a pitting on it there. Don't think so. Say it's more so coming from around there. But what we'll do is we'll dry up there and see is it running down. Lovely. I don't know, will I be able to maybe even get the camera stand? I'll try and get the camera stand short enough, there, low enough, so we can angle it up and so you can keep an eye on it as well. Okay, work lamp on. Now, we're a little bit. I want to keep the front dry here now. And I want to see is this leaking from in the back. I see a little scratching in there. I'll keep that dry and see is it getting coming from back here. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah. It'll. Okay. That was. That's it. We're after finding that fairly easily. Looks like there was a little corrosion, probably corrosion. And I can see another rust hole there. There we go. That's where it is. Now we'll try and show you if I can find it again. There. You see that little rust hole there? A bit of rust. That's where it's coming from as well. There's definitely well, there's obviously definitely one hole, but I wouldn't be surprised now if there's two. That's where she's coming from there. I can actually catch it with my finger now. Okay, this might be a quick fix. Right, I'm going to get a pick and just scratch that. Just like a dentist would when you have a bit of an old cavity in the tooth. Oh yeah. There you go. That needed to happen. There you go. That was just literally waiting to happen. Isn't that crazy? Literally a bit of dust holding that in. My God. Well, at least now we know what to do. We can get our Dremel at that now and start cleaning her up. If we even have to. Yeah, I'll get the Dremel out. Do a nice job on it. So I'll just give it a quick clean down. Didn't use the Dremel. I have a few of these I put on my drill, like so. I'm gonna give it a clean. Okay. And now I'm going to leave you up there because you're actually on the tool trolley. So I'll do is I'll just leave you up there because it'll be handy because I'm going to try and do all this now. So I want to mix. I have JB Weld or I have this Araldite. Bit left in this. So we'll mix a bit of that. Won't need much. I like to keep this to the minimum. It's only one hole. If it was a big crack, I'd say fair enough. I'd actually get it brazed. Plenty there. Plenty there to do that. And more. Mix her up and it's all the same colour. And actually, no, do you know what? I'm probably better off. Cleaning a few more places actually before this goes off. I'm not very happy with that there either. There's some other places on the actual tank, you know. No, I really should have done this before now because there's some little places there that just look a little bit suspect to me. And that's bodywork filler. I just don't like it there. It's a little bit. Now we have a mix, we may as well. This will be stronger than bodywork filler, so look, we'll cover up our hole there anyway. I'll be able to shape this a bit better and all of that in a minute. If we get it on there and just want to strengthen along there, that line there, I wouldn't be happy with that. Just like that, a little smear of it, perfect. And we might run a little bit extra along there as well. This is going off very, very quickly here, so just want to run a line there, because it was a repair done before. There's a bit of a seam along there, so I might get something better now just to pick the last of this up. There's a nice blob of it over that there. Let's bring it down over any of the metal that we sanded just to stop rust and all that. Right. Yeah, I might just get something a bit better to scrape that up. And we'll try and get a bit more around. Just want to get that seam there as well done. I really should have actually thought things through a bit more and did a bit more cleaning and mixed a bit more, but we can always mix a bit more. No panic. Yeah, so I'm happy enough that this is staying, this isn't leaking, but definitely want some kind of corrosion there. I want that well covered. That could be a prime candidate for leaking now in the near future. And if we get this sorted this easy, we're doing very well. And we'll be able to let it back down flat tomorrow, and we'll be able to see if that has sorted it. But we will be fitting those rubber radiator pads under here. It'll be keeping all this up out of the way, won't be getting vibrations and all of that, damaging it and wearing it. As you can see, it was fairly well worn along there where the metal is shiny. Yeah, I think we'll leave it just like that, and we'll come back to that tomorrow. We'll leave it dry there and we'll see what's what. Yeah, lovely stuff. And this stuff is kind of clear, so you know, you're not really going to be looking under here anyway. So yeah, we'll let that dry and see. I'm happy with that. If that is as easy, if that's after fixing that now. This end doesn't seem to be too bad down there. Where tap seems to be staying fairly dry as well. They can be very hard to stop leaking. Yeah, that might be another issue there, is it? We'll keep an eye on that. But we won't go making a big mess now with wire brushes and drills until we it's definitely repaired before. Okay, I think that's all we'll do for the time being. Dry that off. I don't know, is that paint or maybe it's just paint? Yeah, lots of paint. and that's bodywork fillers. So there's definitely bodywork fillers. I hear does. They can fix these. Maybe all of that's bodywork fillers, isn't it? We'll keep an eye on it. Brilliant. Okay, let's see how that turns out. A project of my own. I said I started doing a bit of work on it, and then I said, you know, I may as well throw it in, because I'm waiting for that stuff to go off, and I'm waiting for the injectors and diesel pump to come back on that. So another project is I want to put new rims on this tractor. So I got new rims and better centres, but they do need a bit of work. I can see in places there, some of them are a little bit iffy. Now I obviously will be sanding them down and all, stripping them down, or, you know, there's a few marks there with a bit of bodywork fillers on that, like sand it off, it'll be grand. I want to get a new set of tubes and tyres, so that's the plan. And those wheels and a whole lot of tyres, tubes as they are, so basically there's a person interested in them. So I went and I ordered, these only came with 3 on each, so I've been taking them off the other one there, and I went and ordered another set, but they were the wrong type. So these ones here need a little tit on one end, whereas these are square. So I'd say these ones are something similar to this, that style there, but for originally, all right, they're the same as well, yeah. So maybe, so I don't want to mix a both to get me on each wheel. So this style here has the nuts facing outwards, and this style, you know, the nuts are on the inside, and that's what these are. But when I looked online, there was 2 options. There was these and a goldy one, and I thought straight away when I had a look, there wasn't any more pictures of the back of them. So to show the likes of that there being square, so I ordered them, much of them, 6 of them, so I can exchange them for the right ones. I'm not fussed, but I'm slowly just taking them off that wheel and putting them on here, because I want to make sure that the centre is being pulled up onto that support bracket there all around, because it didn't look like it was in some cases, but it is now starting to look. That could be a bit of a challenge there. I don't want to go grinding anything, because the centres, obviously, the dishes kind of are meant to wedge in there, and that's where you get your strength. So I'll go and take the last one out of the other one over there, and we'll put it in and give it a tighten and see if there's a pull up that dish onto that support bracket. Yeah, so I'll put in the last one there. I'm just going to give them a bit of a nip up and see that they're pulling in nice, and that should keep the strength in the rim. As I said, there was only 3 of them in it, so it didn't look like it was going to pull the dish up nice and level. Make sure that's not turning there. No, it's not. That's good. That's good and tight there. Once it pulls it in, I'm happy. I'll take it out, start in my spare time. I put on the wire brush on the angle grinder. Fairly severe piece of kit that. And we can start stripping these down. There will be a bit of welding, I'd say, just where the rust has got a little bit there, just to strengthen them and grind them. Do a nice job on it. Do I really need to do that? No. But I'm going to bring it to the machine shop because I don't have a welder. And again, just to strengthen it up a little bit first. Not that it's going to be mad tonnage on it, but we're going to just try and restore them a little best we can. With my own 20 diesel, like, it's thankfully mostly down to finishing touches. I'll try and record anything I do on it anyway. But I'll have to exchange them for the proper ones, or I'll have another project in over the years, I say, and I can use them. I'm not too fussed for the few euro it cost. But I just want to make sure that it's pulling everything up onto them support brackets, and it does seem to be doing it. That's brilliant news. Really nice tight fit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I just said I'd record rather than do it and not show it. So everything's kind of nice and snug in there. And this is the way I want them. I want them the way they were from the factory. Yes, I know the factory ones were actually riveted brackets, but I want to just future-proof this tractor for a good while, you know, and I found it too hard to find nice rims that were riveted or even welded for that matter. So I'm just going to take my time, clean everything down, prime the hell out of it, probably do it all separately and rebuild it then. When I get into new tyres and tubes, I leave out the dishes, make them a lot lighter, and we can work away. I think it'll look nice. I'm going to go for the 12.4 instead of the 11.2 that's on it, because the man that had this before me put on these mudguard skins and didn't fit them flush with the bottom, and it does give an awful lot of space there, and I just think it would look better if that was filled up a little bit and make it look a little more factory, even though I'll be putting on slightly bigger tyres, slightly higher tyres. They're not going to make that much of a difference, but, and these are definitely off of Fords and Dexter or something there, the 3 holes in them there I think on both sides, so they would suit, you know, TVO or something like that. I find the TVOs always look best with the 11.2s. Yeah, I just think that's, for me it's just a little bit. I have another 20 diesel at home and I put new mudguard skins on it years ago, and I remember I kept them down nice, and I have these Butler lights on as well, and the tyres just below, and it's not hitting the wire for the lights, and I just like the look of it. These just look a bit too high, and so I just think they take away from the tractor. So the only way out of that, because I'm not drilling new holes and all of that, is to fit the bigger tyres, and that'll do me then for a long time. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I could be lazy and just fit them onto the other side, but as I said, these ones are the ones that go, that square catches in the actual bracket there, so it would look a little bit different, mind you. Am I right in saying he has them wheels pushed out a bit? Yeah, because the brackets are in under here. That wheel's turned backwards. It's turned backwards and then put out, so it gets wider. If I'm right in saying that, yeah? Yeah, let's sit the mudguard down straight there again and see if it'll stay. Yeah, so he has that slightly wider than the factory. If you look at mine there, mudguards in closer to the wheels in closer to the mudguard, and that's not. So dishes were swapped around, and yeah, that's cool. So what you do it? Okay, so it's just a little small project. I prefer to keep them like factory, keep the nuts out. But it's interesting, that's the way that is as well there. It's not worthwhile going loosening all them and all that, so sell them the way they are. They're in good nick, there's no perishing on them. Lovely black rubber, Galaxies to make. I bought a set of Firestones for my Ferguson 20 at home when I was 15 years of age, 25 years ago, for £500, and they still look like new. I tried to get Firestones for this, couldn't. They don't seem to be making them in that size, and I think anything they do make is like for 4-wheel drive tractors and all that, for the front, so big monsters of tractors. So they don't, I want a nice simple tread pattern. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing on this. When we get this baby out the gap, we'll be bringing that to the tyre centre. These are Alliance, this make here. And I think that's what they're quoting me, is they can get Alliance. So I would prefer to go for a better, but most places have stopped stocking better. It's BKT or Alliance. I'm not a fan of BKT. Alliance, I think I'm just going to have to go with, try and mind. Firestones were my favourite, and obviously Goodyears as well, but it's hard enough to get them in 12.4s. I think if you can even get the diamond pattern, you could at some point, because this one seems to have a very, very, very old Goodyear Sure Grip on one side there, and a Dunlop Fieldmaster or something like that on the other side. So Anyway, that's just another little project, so I'll wheel that back out of the way and we'll have a look and see what else we can be doing on this tractor. So one thing I want to do, since I have plenty of time now to wait for them parts to come back, I want to take out the oil strainer, and the oil's going to come with it. I have a feeling this is probably fairly gunked up, and we can let the oil out this way, so that lifting it out the sump bung, and I'm going to clean out the bottom of the sump. I like to try and keep the bones in as much as possible, like take them out as least as possible, because sometimes the old threads on them aren't the best. I stripped an engine on a 20 diesel not too long ago. I have videos of that up, and someone had crossed the threads in the sump, so the sump was scrapped like. So it's sealing there at the moment, I think, so I'm just going to leave it. And if I want to take this out, this is how you can let your oil out anyway. So you'll have an oil strainer in here, and then you'll have a pickup pipe going straight to the oil pump. So yeah, it's one way of getting your oil out of an engine, but at the same time it's a service item, like, you know, you should make sure that you've at least cleaned it out once in your ownership, you know, make sure that oil pump is not blocked, and well, the screen filter isn't blocked, and the oil filter is getting good flow of oil, good feed of oil. So that sometimes you get a stud coming out, so that's all right. That's control. So some of this oil is really watery. Yeah, that's fairly watery, but clean looking. Oh, still it's worth doing this. I need my pick to get some of these spring washers off. And gently pry the cover off. Yeah, I'll give my pick, just scratch them behind it. And we have another oil pan here beside us. This gets full. There's the paint, makes it a little bit catchy. It's ideal actually one of them studs come out, because it's a nice controlled way of emptying your oil. It'd be a fair gush if the whole plate came out. So we can let that drain away, and in the meantime we'll lift up the camera very, very slightly there, and we'll move to the filter. See if that wants to drain in there as well. The oil is very watery. Wouldn't be very happy with that. Oh look, it's going to get sorted. We have a new filter there as well. This is the time to do it. We'll fit all the O-rings, and we'll enjoy this now. We'll take our time. No pressure at all. Filter doesn't look that bad actually. Yeah, that's good. Wasn't done that long ago. But the oil definitely looks like it's very thin. I'll be putting 15W40 in this now anyway. Okay. Right. It's a little bit right, I'll turn off the camera here for a minute as I'm spilling a bit there, and let's clean that up. We are here and waiting for this to drain. Let's run over all of these 1/2 inch bolts, make sure they're good and tight. Check them anyway. Them tools can check them with the spanner. Needs a nip. Ah, yeah. Lovely. I know one of them in the front there is loose, so this is the time. I've checked the rest of them underneath there. You can't see big long ones. There's just one in the front that is a little bit. I wasn't happy to get a grip on it. Which one's it? I mean, there's 4 of them there. So this one there wasn't happy with its 1/2 inch. So we'll get a different spanner on that and we'll have a feel of it and make sure it's good and tight. Okay, so that other pan is full, so we'll let it into this. Super handy having a few drums like this. Up. That can drain away there. Nice and controlled. Don't know how is it fixed for coming off. I have to get a screwdriver, give it a bit of a nudge. It's been on there for a long time. So a jack, I'd say, yeah. I just bent up the end of that there and it's catching that spring washer. So we can definitely give that a bit of a straightening, I'd say. It's a very soft piece, but in my experience it kind of does seal fairly well, and they are a little bit out of shape even. Still just a little bit hot, no big deal. That's starting to come there now. That's it. Perfect. Nice and controlled. There's a spring washer. Yeah, so it's fairly blocked. Not looking great. A lot of gunge on that. Yeah. It wasn't a hole. Definitely worth doing this. That's pure slime. So it'll have to be just soaked there in a bit of diesel. That's the exact reason why I do this. Or I have a spare one there, I can use that anyway. That is not in the greatest shape. That slime now is actually blocked. You have to push fairly hard to feel the mesh, so it is blocked. Okay, so it'll definitely improve the flow of oil around the engine, that's for sure. That would hang on the side. Let it drip would be ideal. Okay, I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do. Clean that or use my spare one. We all know what's going to happen next. not too bad. Just going to have a feel around in there, see what sort of condition things are in. Slime wise, metal filings all feel not too bad. Just old oil really, I can't really complain. It doesn't feel like there's grit around down there. Yeah, we're getting right over there. The beauty of this, you can get and clean everywhere. Pull it all up to there. And just take the time, use the paper. Right into every corner. And you'll know when it's done. Starting to feel good in there now, yeah? Clean. I'm happy with that. So I'd say this tractor was definitely maintained. So I'm going to clean my hands. Okay, rightly letting the rain down there now. I'll give it a quick clean up. A good old degreaser wipe. The gasket, perfect condition, and they're really, really good quality gaskets. You can use them again and again with a bit of Indian head. That's all it's going to take. So the oil doesn't smell bad, it doesn't smell like fuel or anything like that. So I'm not worried about that. I've gone around the rest of the bolts. The one on the other side is loose, so I'm going to have a go at tightening that. I don't know, are they a ½ inch or what are they, but they'll work out now soon enough what they are. A bit bigger, so we'll just get the right socket, give them a nip. Bigger again, so they could be metric. So we'll drag over our metrics. And we'll just try and focus our attention on the sump and all to do with the oil and stuff, oil system. Okay, so that's good. The other one then, we'll just have a look and see what's happening, because I'm fairly sure I saw it rattling around a little bit before, so we'll try and get that sorted as well. And that is the bottom one there. And it's fairly goodly rattling. And it's a coach bolt, so it's just spinning, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to tighten that. Just spinning, so I might have to cut that off and fit my own proper bolt on it. So that's a job we can do as well on a rainy day, and that's exactly what it is at the moment anyway. But there's no mad panic on that, so we'll just continue here for the time being. I'm after washing out the oil strainer there in the parts washer. That's just drying off there, so we'll put it up on the bench now and we'll move over there. We'll have a look at the oil filter housing, give that a clean out in the parts washer, dry it up, and we'll see what we have to work with. Right, oil strainer. So it's cleaned up lovely. We can blow it out now with the air gun. But it was very badly blocked. You can still see in places there where stuff is just kind of hanging about, so that's all going to be blown out. Happy with that. Oil filter housing. Sealing washer on the bottom of that. Okay. I think. There should be some form of, oh there is, yeah. So, something there anyway, but it kind of pushes through, so I don't know, is that going to be much of a seal? Not going to do much sealing, so we'll go and we'll replace that. Because I noticed there was a leak there anyway, so we'll go and have a look and see what we can put on that. This is just one of many tubs of all this kind of stuff. So I might go for something better than rubber anyway. I might go for fibre. As long as it's, the issue is a fair wide hole there to seal. So it needs something fairly bloody wide on it. Small hole but wide. That's not 100% ideal either. But if it was lined up straight, it would work. So that's a possibility. So we'll put him on and we'll have a look for something better. If we're really stuck, we could use this copper washer, but it's just way too thick. You'd never get that to actually seal. This is just one of them things now that the likes of that would be ideal because it's actually in the same, has the same dish on it. But I don't know, would it be strong enough to seal? I don't know what a tear. Now of course we would find out fairly bloody lively. I don't know what it sealed. But we'll leave it on there for a minute to see if we've anything better. Doughty washer, no. Because of the angle that's at, I wouldn't say. And it's rotten in the in the pack. I suppose there has to be a seal there on that. I never really fully understood these, and I remember stripping them before and trying to figure out how the bloody thing sealed. Let that down on that there anyway. It's a good one. I don't think I'm the first person that ran into this issue. I think I've seen a few people posting online about it. Surely that doesn't just seal on there like. It's a good one. Yeah, I'm stumped. Was that good enough there to seal? Maybe we'll put it back the way it just was and just see. If we have to go and do a seal up job on it, we will. So I'll get the other parts. And we'll see now what we can do with these. I'm going to give them a quick rub already. So it's just a spring and this lad that keeps the sits under the filter. And the spring. Okay. And that's our new filter. Have to just give that a bit of a clean out and then into the parts washer, get the last of it out. Bit of gunge down the bottom there, you can see it kind of catching. Oh yeah. So parts washer it is, and we'll come back then. Okay. Happy. Brass off the machine. Okay. So we said we might just chance putting everything back the way it was. Spring, and this should go in under there. Lovely. Okay, so let's go and at least fit this, but I want to change the O-rings on the filter housing first, and then we'll see what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what this is for. It's probably on the filter housing. We've 3 of them there to suit different thicknesses and all of that, I think. So we'll figure out which one is right and we'll come back. Get this old O-ring out and see which one then matches up with it. Easy enough. That's good. Then we can give all that a clean. That's where the O-ring was put on this. And I don't see why you'd be putting an O-ring on that. It wasn't even going up on it. And yeah, you'd want a sealer around that, but that should fit, the filter should fit straight over that. So that was only blocking the aisle. So no, this small O-ring is for a different filter. This filter will be fitted to a lot of filter housing. So this is for a different tractor or a different engine. So I don't remember ever seeing, especially when it's sitting there. Okay, so let's get that cleaned up. I have the new O-ring here, matched it to the one that was on it. But mind you, that could easily have been the wrong one, because these supply 3 O-rings. So So let's make sure that what we're putting in is right. And I just want to make sure another thing, and that's that there's not already another one O-ring in behind that as well. Looks like there could be two. You're right. So there's a thicker O-ring there, so I'll put that one in. No need to be putting two of them in. And while we're here, let's give these a nip, because these can be awkward to seal. It can be awkward to seal this housing into the block there. I'd also problems of my own for a long time. Okay. Make sure there's nothing else in there. Lovely. Okay, lovely. So we'll bring over the other O-rings and get the thickest one. Okay, this is the thickest one. One should be enough. There you go. No need for two. So it's just one of these jobs, you know, you can do a very quick job on it, or you can take your time. And I think taking the time is definitely going to pay off in this. So I'm going to put a bit of Indian head on the oil strainer and we're going to refit it. So I gave it a blowout with the air gun down as well. Blew out any of that how blasted it, slime and all. So I'm happy that it's serviceable again. That gasket will be perfect. Right, wipe, dry, and Indian head. Lovely. Okay. Satisfying work seeing something go from being gungy and slimy and dirty to being clean and going to do what it's meant to do. And hopefully the old engine will, the old oil will get around the engine a bit easier. It will, of course. And removing that O-ring from the pickup pipe as well, you know. Right, it wouldn't have restricted it that much, but it definitely wasn't going to help things. And these old engines, you know, they need to be oiled. Not as fussy as modern engines, obviously, but it slows down the wear for sure. That should nearly do it now. Nearly out with this stuff. Okay, so we'll fiddle it onto that pickup pipe. little bit out of shape. That's going to make it a little bit harder to get onto that pipe. There we go. Thing of beauty. Okay, let's get our nuts back on. And I wasn't even recording that. Anyway, let's just fiddle it into place. So hopefully now diesel pump and injectors will come back, get fitted, we'll see big improvements. But it is always worth putting the hand in, giving everything a good clean out in there. Dirty work, but look, the payoff. I know the chances of the actual slime down there getting picked up is fairly low, but sometimes there will be so much slime in there that it could actually get picked up. So. We're just trying to cover all possibilities here. It's a strange kind of a copper part this. Actually, I'd love to polish one up and just clear varnish it. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely material. The best time to do it before an oil change. And if you do it this way, you don't have to open up the bung. On the other side, and as I found out, sometimes they're very, very hard to seal. And we'll keep an eye on this. We won't go tight in there and too crazy. You can always tighten it up a bit more. That Indian head will do its thing anyway. Right, let's get the filter on now. Okay, filter time. It'll be a little bit awkward to line them up into that thread sometimes, but we're going in there now nice and easy. Interesting to see if it seals. If it doesn't, we'll get it sealed. There we go. And that's all that takes. So it's one of them jobs that said, you know what, let's just do it now and we'll wait for that. Give everything to dry off so we can keep an eye what's going on. Hopefully we've actually squeal it off a bit. Hopefully there'll be no leaks. Enjoyable work. Happy with that. So we're going to leave it there for tonight, and yeah, I'm happy with the progress, and we'll catch you at the next video. Slán go fóill.